I'm Bruce Krentz here for Shaw TV, talking to Sandra Ross-Hitch and Murray Kissick, two people who have agreed to co-chair the 2018 Power Smart Winter Games that are coming here to Thompson. So Sandra, tell us, how did Thompson end up with the games?
Verdon backed out. We were the next best, I guess. I don't know. No, actually, we bid for the 2014. And we were unsuccessful. It went to Morden Winkler. So with that presentation, Sport Manitoba came up, pitched it to the city again of us hosting, and that's how we got it, because Verdon backed out.
And so we've stepped in on short notice. Normally you do a 2 to 3 year planning cycle. We've got less than 14 months. It's going to be a quick one, I think. Murray, tell the people, A, what we're going to do to prepare, but I think in a bigger sense, in case you don't know, what are the Manitoba Games? What are we looking at?
The Manitoba Games, since its inception in 1974, which I was a participant,
There's a little history
indoor
with the
speed
games.
skating in 78 in Dauphin.
Wow.
The idea was certainly to promote sport to the youth, and to really rally around in Canada, as we've seen, towards the Canada Games. So the aspect of that has evolved over time, where the coordination of regional athletics has gone through, and through Sport Manitoba and their regions, and to promote youth under 15, under 17 for certain categories of certain sports, and to get them prepared for that next level, which they all want to get to, which would be the Canada Games, and for those people, the next level, Olympics.
And it's I mean, from the broadest sense, it's a multi-sport games, and really it is. It's like a mini Olympics or a mini Canada Games, I guess, Manitoba-wide, and it's really a big event.
It is a big event, because we're going to have 2 phases during the time period that they're here, with approximately 800 athletes in each phase. So you're looking at 1,600 athletes alone, along with their coaching staffs and other people that will come along with them. So just in that regard, you know, you're certainly going to be looking at close to 3,000 just in that alone, in those phases, let alone all the parents and everybody else they're going to bring along with them, you know, coming up here. Even though they're going, oh, it's a long way. Well, we go that way. It seems to be the same distance, but they'll figure it out when they get here, as they did before, and as they have for people that come from Uncup, people that come up for other things that Thompson has hosted over the time, whether it was the Scotties or the tanker we had before. The Scotties is another one that Sandra knows, where we had to step in and do it again for them. And so once they get here, they really do appreciate the effort that we do put out for them.
People know that they're going to have a good time. Just before we circle back to '94 and maybe a little bit of that history, give us an idea, and I'm going to put you on the spot, and we'll all chip in on this, because the games are a little bit new to us, but what sports are we looking at, and what are the events that are going to be at the games?
So there's wrestling, table tennis, there's male and female hockey, there's badminton, there's gymnastics, there's cross-country skiing. What did I miss? Ringettes.
And male and female hockey.
And curling. And the curling. And then we were talking about this before, that curling, when they knew they were coming to Thompson, doubled their numbers. And so, yeah, they're looking forward to it. And it'll be girls and boys and mixed, that new mixed. I think it's the 2, not the 4, the new mixed curling that's out there. So
You're more of a curler than me. I don't know what you're talking about, but I believe you that it's going to be cool. I think you missed archery and
female 5 rock.
yeah, archery and speed skating is new this year. So yeah.
Male, female 5 rocks.
Yeah, that's for the mixed curling. Yeah.
Really?
It's set in there. You gotta get on top. You know?
I can't believe I missed that. I'm so embarrassed.
Well, Jeff Stout and the Charleston Curling Club will fill you in.
We'll get on top of that. What brought? I'm curious. I want to step back to just the two of you getting involved. But what brought you into the games? I mean, somebody obviously came and asked you, but there must be something that draws you to the game. Is it? I mean, I know you've got lots of family in town right now. You got some young people in town. Is that part of the allure for you to get involved and to have an event here?
Well, Dennis Fensky wasn't selling Girl Guide cookies when he came to my house and was at my back door, and
he knew.
Well, when you're in Thompson as long as we've all been, I mean, I've been here since '81, born and raised. I think yourself and Sandra came in '92. You know, when you get a phone call or an email or a text or a knock on the door, you know, everybody has that same look, but we all give it both going the other way, and we're going to be giving it to people, you know, while we're wanting them to volunteer as well. But yeah, I'm going to say all my kids are here. I've got 2 grandkids now that are here. My wife and I are both retired from the school district, and you know, our time, 32 plus years teaching and now going back and subbing, we've been involved in a lot of things. So and we've had them all involved, at this facility, at the old facility, at the schools. So it just seems kind of natural that it would be. I mean, I was going to be helping out, didn't know this would be the role. I wanted to look behind him to see which people had fallen off the wayside, or we're pushing ahead. But looking at past people, the 2014 people who are there, and knowing that when Diane Rob Platford did it in '94, and saying it to people out there as well. I'm not speaking for Sandra. I'm speaking when I was saying to Dennis. I know that there are people out there that just will band behind whoever the co-chairs are to make sure the games is ran. Because it's not about her and I, right? It's about the community.
For sure. And I mean, you've been involved in some big events before.
Yes.
And so obviously you're attracted to these kind of things.
Yes.
So is that part of it for you? You've got family here too. Your kids are here.
Yeah, both of them are here. One's going to school and the other one's working at the pool. So for me, volunteering's always been my passion. And actually 94 was my first volunteering in this community. Yep. I was the one that got on the Parkland bus, and I guess I was a Thompson ambassador, and I had such a good time. And then over the years, I think the community sort of knows my name, that I love this community with a passion and probably would do anything for it. And eventually, yes, we're all going to want to leave a legacy, and I guess that's what I want to do too. And I want this community to have the best games that, the winter games that they've ever seen for Manitoba. So, and I just want, I want to embrace that, and that's the way I am. That's the way I roll.
And you will, and the games will be a success. There's no doubt about it. We were all around, some of us more than others, in '94. What's changed a little bit from the games in '94? I know the legacy from that is unbelievable, right? People still talk about it. I was wearing my sweatshirt from there like 2 weeks ago. It's still in active rotation.
Oh, wow.
I'll bring it out. I took it to the planning meeting the other day. But I know the legacy was huge, not just in terms of, I think, the facilities and some of the memories from the games, but the volunteers that we created in that and sort of lit a fire in people like me. I was not a very old guy when I got involved, and I mean, I don't think I slept for 2 weeks, and I had a headache that I didn't shake for 2 weeks after, but I mean, it was lots of fun. But what's different, I think, in terms of sort of maybe the focus of the games and what we're getting from Sportman this time around?
Right. Yeah, that's a good
question.
That's a lot of question in one. I mean, Sport Manitoba has come leap and bounds. I think the games have been a success because of '94 and how we hosted them. We're different. The community rallies around us. We're small. Everything's compact. You don't have to go very far for them. And I think Sport Manitoba's learned from those games how to do them better. And so they come with a package deal now where we don't have to invent the wheel. We don't have to tell you what to do. They actually bring that to us. And I'm going to do an example is they provide a food menu and we stick to it. So we had to do that in '94, where this time that will be better, that we don't have to write our own job descriptions.
And I think, I really believe that '94, you're right, we pushed the level of what the games were all about. And lots of stuff that we're seeing coming back in terms of that binder and stuff is things that really started here and have been refined since then. I really believe that.
It is, and Diane and Rob did a good job, and Diane Platford being who she was and working with her in minor hockey before, they've gone to separate. She likes, Article A, subsection B, and so they did leave that behind, and it's a tough act to follow. But with that, you can always do your tweaks for everything, because I think Sport Manitoba knows that for any community that takes it, they want it to run as smoothly as possible. So if they can, over time, adapt it from every little community they've had, because there's good people in all those communities, and so just take it and put it in place. So that makes our job easier, because as co-chairs, we need to find the executive of the 4 areas that we're going to be dealing with, one of them being sport, another one being in the finance area, another one is over in operations and athlete services, and I'm going to miss one, but so marketing and all of that. So yeah, fundraising and Friends of the Game. So we're looking for those executive members, and then that's going to be our board, and then of course working down there. And we have some people in place in some of the lower levels already, which is kind of nice. But I know that once we get the press release out that's out now, and we let people know about the website, or the email, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and that they'll be able to step up. But I think the main thing is that Sport Manitoba showed faith in us. We kind of have them a little bit, in regards to time frames, so they may do a little bit more than normal. But I think that's also on us to make sure that when we do ask for it, that it's going to be utilized. And you want to talk about legacy, and we do little things that we talk about. And and Sandra and I were in here with the rec director, with Andrew, talking about just bleachers in our facility over here, portable bleachers, little things like that sport wants, that our community foundation would like to see, that I know the city themselves. It's not the games comes and disappears, but there's always something there after. And because we did it, here's your little gratuity, I'll call it, but it's not. But here's what we're going to leave you so that future generations can have it. Because I would have liked to have this when my kids were little.
That would have been all right in the 70s.
Because I remember being on one of the committees of many committees that came forth to make a new facility, and over time it changed, and then my kids all got through it, and so now, and even your own to some degree, and yet your brother Mike are kind of getting it now. So
no, for sure. It's funny you mentioned that, just as a little aside, because my kids call this the TRCC, and this is what they know. Right? I mean, they sort of saw the change, but really this is their arena. To me, this is still new and something different. So it's nice that we can pass that on to them. And just the same way that I came here in the C. Nesbitt was the C. Nesbitt, and that just is what it is.
They don't know about the old rooms in the GB arena.
No. The Gordon Beard meeting room. That was a chilly place. So you touched on all the levels of people, and I think for people out there, let's get into the volunteers and maybe a call for volunteers right now, because really it isn't just about. I don't play badminton, so I'm not interested in helping out with a badminton tournament or curling. I mean,
you did, and you were good at it.
Well, I thought maybe that was a bad example, but or a good example probably. But I mean, we have to feed these athletes, so we have to house them. There's so much more to the games than really the sport, and it's an event, and it's a really big thing, and we need people to do a lot of jobs that you probably don't associate with sport or with the Olympics, right?
That's correct. We think that we need 800 volunteers, but that's broken up into 4-hour shifts for everything from putting out the cots in the high schools to maybe flipping burgers or whatever for them, to people being here when they come to register. Not that they have to register, but there could be an athlete that couldn't come today because they were sick, so the coaching staff has put another one on, and they all have to be accredited to play in these games. So there'll be some paperwork, there'll be some financing that we have to do, spreadsheets. We have to then report on how we've done. So we need financial background people. We need people that just to come and say hi for hospitality. We need people to help us with the tweeting and the online stuff, even though we're not there yet, but we need experts in those fields too. We're going to take your name if you want to email us and maybe say what area you want to go in. Like we said, we have operations, we have villages, and we don't know everything that we need yet, but if you want to email us, it's mbwgthompson18@hotmail.com. So remember, it's Manitoba.
I'll put it right there.
Yeah, Manitoba Winter Games, Thompson18@hotmail.com. Somebody might not get to it right away. We are actually in the process of hiring a games coordinator who, when we get them in place, help is on the way. This will be a paid position, so look in the paper and it should be in there real soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think it was interesting. I got a chance to go to sort of an introductory session on the games. And one of the things is they said more than the final game or the scores of the games, the kids are going to remember where they slept. They're going to remember what they eat. And they're going to remember a lot of what they did in their downtime. And that was a big thing they said. I mean, even if you're not a sport person, having a good hanging around room and some other activities for the kids, that's what you remember. I mean, you've been on how many hockey trips? Couple?
Well, exactly. And, not only that, and I'll go back 74 and 78 in Dauphin, and they were starting to do it then, but we didn't have the technology, of course, that we do today. And I look at it on some of the high school trips that I took the kids to Europe. And in some of those, they had, in some of the facilities we stayed in, that entertainment aspect of it. And here's where I want to get into the School District of Mr. Lake, which is also a big partner in this because those schools are going to be utilized as well. And that is a big component, and they realize that, and Sport Manitoba has it in there in regards to, not, hey, it'd be nice if there was. There must be an area for athletes too, right? And it's so computer access, it's something to Skype with the parents if they don't have a phone or whatever, or any other thing like that. But it's just a big area. They want, if there's entertainment in regards to somebody coming playing guitar or some magician guy coming in or whatever it might be, it is something they want to keep them entertained because you are right. They are going to remember, that cricket he caught, even though they might say it was brand new, or my buddy putting tea leaves in my sleeping bag, or those kind of things, or, what it was like to be in the event, or did they medal, or whatever it might be. But all those little things are important because every kid is different, every coach is different, and you're going to hit all the little marks if you can. So
there's lots of things to putting on a positive experience. We have, I think, the best facility, the best location, maybe not just one facility, to put on these games in Manitoba, maybe even in Canada. I mean, for the sports that we have and what we have going on. So tell us, a little bit about that, I guess. Brag a little bit about what we got.
Oh, we got everything, right? When they came to even look the first time, this facility is wonderful. Right? We can have a couple games going of hockey right at the same time because there's two arenas and in between figure skating, because I think did we say figure skating?
We should have. If we didn't, we're in big trouble.
It should, right? In between we're going to have speed skating and we're going to, right? So it's all going to be right here, and this is wonderful, right?
It's perfect. Between here, we've got 2 arenas, we've got the 2 high school gyms, we've got 3 gyms, 2 arenas. You don't have to go anywhere. The furthest anybody's going to go is to Popeyes for cross-country skiing, which is it's ridiculous. And then Deerwood School and Westwood School for athlete villages.
Yeah, the high school will be utilized as an athletes village this time around, as opposed to '94 when it wasn't. The proposal is, of course, the cafeteria for the meals, and it's laid out by Sport Manitoba, and that is an area as well that's improved because now it is an area that they want to have open for a length of time. So a kid's going to go down, grab banana, grab some fruit, grab a granola bar, grab chocolate milk, whatever, on like from 8 in the morning to like 8 at night, right? Which wasn't before either.
Grazing station.
Yeah, which wasn't before either. And that's when you go back to, it's not, Winnie Stewart, in the CN Arena flipping burgers as you're talking about and giving you fries and gravy and, God rest her soul, and a few other things that, have changed. And the other thing about it is too, because of even where we're sitting, kind of a gathering place, and I think we'll see that because I can go and watch some curling, come over here, it's figure skating. I don't know anybody, but I'll take a look, never seen it before. Might be ringette on the other side. Go over, gymnastics is going to be right here in the big area. And and then you go to the high school and you're watching some badminton and then going, whoa, that was a pretty full day. And it's free. And I think that's the other thing we never mentioned is that community comes in, it's free, right, to watch, right? And so that's really significant too. And then we haven't figured out little things like I know in '94 the medals were presented outside. They sculpted a snow stage and stuff. Our parking lot scenario was much different now because we have UCN and everything taking up a space that some people might remember. So those are dynamics that we're going to be getting into. But it's just like you said, this is all your kids know. So those of us that remember, we can remember all we want. We talk about it all the time. I remember in '81. That's what I get. We talk about some of those things. But we have a newer facility, and that being said, it'll be a new thing that your kids remember a little differently too.
Absolutely. We hope they remember the games as fondly as we remember '94, and we're going to remember these. Let's wrap it there. We're going to put the thing for volunteers again at the bottom. You guys hope that the next time we're together, there's like 800 people behind us.
Exactly. And I just want to mention also, shout out to Todd Harwood because he's going to be instrumental when one of us are away. He's going to step in. So I just want to mention, Todd, thanks very much for stepping up also because it gives us peace of mind.
It does in that regards. Because that was one thing that I know that Sandra and I both said to Dennis when they proposed it, said, well, hang on, like just down the road, we already have some holidays booked now, and we can't stop them. And then that's when it was kind of brought up for Todd. Not saying Todd can't go anywhere, but I think what happens, and I think that kind of went to, again, what I was saying to Casper when he was asking me for things for the press release. I said, nobody really has to worry because someone will step in. Yeah. It's not like, a hole's being left and, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? And I think that's pretty significant for anybody out there who's thinking of volunteering and worrying about it. Get the name in there. We'll find a spot for you. And if you feel you can do some more or somebody, because that's another thing that, the town's changed, right? The dynamics of the town has changed. The people are changed. I am out of a big loop of people and areas that maybe I used to know when I was younger. And so that's another thing, too, in regards to that. Because my kids, who are of that millennial age, they come home and start talking first names to me, and I'm going, I have no idea. Yeah, but Dad, you taught them. Well, 12 years ago, So it's certain things like that. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be a little shorter ride than if we had signed up right on time, if Verdon hadn't handed this over to us.
But that's the way to go. You don't forget about it. You want to get going and get it done and make it great.
Absolutely. Many hands make light work. And so Manitoba Games coming up 2018, March.
Sometime.
Sometime in March. Murray Kissick, Sandra Ross-Hitch. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.